Do you know who ID Software is? Well, you should, because if you play video games, you probably played any of the Quake games. Yes, Quake brought the multiplayer portion of gaming at the center of attention to most gamers today. This means a lot of games now are trying to bring their star power up with multiplayer. If we look at games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, they've brought different styles of multiplayer into the genre, which is a nice step forward and greatly innovative. But what I'm reviewing here is quite possibly the most blatant copy of Battlefield and mix of Call of Duty style gameplay I've ever seen. Enemy Territory Quake Wars looks like the new and relatively popular Battlefield 2142. Battlefield 2142 and Enemy Territory Quake Wars takes place a number of years into the future in which two forces fight against each other. Like, we haven't heard that before. Now, the thing about this is there's an open-style world. Now, I'm going to point something out to you. There are only two games that have done the sandbox-style world correctly. They are Grand Theft Auto and Battlefield. Each are two different types of sandbox world, but if you ask me, those are the only two to have truly done them right. Now, before I move on to the actual gameplay, I'm just trying to point out that this game looks like the most blatant copy of something I've seen in millions of other places. Okay, to start off, this game copies Battlefield right off the bat. It has like a little limbo menu where you pick a team, either the GDF or the Strog. Now, the Strog is a type of like mutation of alien forces, and the GDF is Ground Defense Force. At least that's what I'm guessing it is, because I'm reviewing the demo. But anyway, the game from here already seems to copy it. Now, when you start off, you fall down to the ground with a parachute for about 2 or 3 seconds, doing pretty much nothing on where you land. You still land in your very small main base. Once you hear, there are a variety of vehicles, and I gotta say they did a okay job in the vehicles. They do feel a little cocky and a bit underdone. They could have made them a little bit more realistic, but on the whole, the vehicles are a nice addition. But like, again, they should have done something new and innovative, unlike just copying Battlefield. So the vehicles were a nice addition, but do they really, are they really the only saving grace in this game, like they are in many other games? Well, the graphics in this are relatively okay. I gotta say, Battlefield and Grand Theft Auto, and I mean, even Call of Duty 2 looks better. I mean, those games came out, what, like 2 or 3 years earlier than this? So this game does look a little bit underdone, and it does look like they could have spent a little bit more effort. The characters look a little sloppy, and the animations could have had a little bit more grease and effort into them. The game doesn't seem to have the amount of spit and polish you would expect from such a highly reputable game series. Now, the sound is pretty much okay. If you've been watching this review, you can pretty much hear it's pretty nice from the start, so I don't think I need to explain much there. The sound is really good, but some of them lack a little bit in variety, such as the voices. They all sound a little bit underdone, but for the most part, they're really good. Alright, so the sound is covered. Now let's move on to the part I want to cover. That is just the overall build of the game. The overall build of the game isn't really that impressive. When I was watching this, I noticed that the game didn't seem to run quite well, even though my computer exceeded all the recommended limits. And I started looking up, and it runs on a Quake engine called Slave Driver Engine, SS. And I didn't think this engine could pull the game correctly. It seemed to make the game lag and chop up a bit, even though I had even some of the graphics turned down low a bit, which I found somewhat disappointing. But the overall build of the game is just not that great, so the engine doesn't seem to pull its weight with the graphics and overall movement and fluidness of the game. Copying Battlefield, this game should be really popular online, and even in the demo, I gotta say, it's pretty popular. There are at least 20 to 30 servers just in the demo. I think the multiplayer in the full game would be pretty sensational. Okay, so I know this may seem a bit unfair because this is the review of a demo, but the AI in this game absolutely sucks. It's pretty moronic. They can't build a bridge. They can't shoot you. You gotta be right up in their face. I mean, Delta Force Black Ops Down had bad graphics, and I mean, this game doesn't even beat it. I mean, they'll just pretty much walk up to you and get killed, unless they're in a vehicle. Then they at least have some brain and they know what to do. So, like I said, I'm willing to give this game the benefit of the doubt because this is a demo, but for the most part, the game isn't horribly bad, but it is more like a blatant clone of Battlefield, so if you have the chance, I would recommend that you buy Battlefield 2142. But if you're a diehard fan of the Quake series, you really won't be disappointed with this. This should be the saving grace of the Quake series, but I would rather play Quake 3 Arena or Quake 4. But give the demo yourself a shot. You can get it on Steam or just off of their website. You know, you might like it. I'm certainly more intrigued with Battlefield because it was the true innovation that started this, and this is just another copy off of it. Enemy Territory Quake Wars gets a solid 7.5 out of 10. A decent score for a clone.
Congratulations on your promotion, Private.